unmuted. Hello, Starry Girl. uh, we'll get into that in a second. Let's just say that you ever have one of those days or weeks or months or anything where just everything goes wrong, and it's just like it's so bad that you just have to laugh about it. Well, that's been our last 24 hours or so. Uh, well, actually, since the surgery, because there was that and everything involved with that. So, but we'll get into that in a sec if more people show up. So, how about you? How are you doing? How are things going there? We're going to take these off because we hate reflections and we're like right here and can see everything because computer, you know, Mr. Bear back there. So, how are you? How are you doing? How are things going? How's the new job? That is not the right one. Momentary glimpse of our dirty bedroom. Um, where did my chat go? There you are, top chat. Live chat. Live chat, yes. Good. In your fourth week at your new job? Excellent. Good deal. Hello, Xander. Welcome to the stream. I guess we'll put these back on because, oh, we're kind of hobbled. Very hobbled at the moment. So Xander, hello. Welcome to the stream. Don't know if you've ever been on one of our streams or not before. Oh, yes, Chris up front at the moment. Anyway, yeah, I don't recall if we've seen you around the channel. If not, welcome to the channel. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for tuning in to listen to us rant randomly. Previous name was Luna Eclipse. Okay, now we know who you are. Yeah, absolutely. And thanks for filling us in on that because we know you guys off of your handles most of the time. So just came out as trans. Excellent. Good for you. Good for you, Xander. Congrats. Support. Brave thing to do. Absolutely. Let's see. Star Girl, this job way better than your old one. It's way more fun, and the people are amazing. Hi, Xander, by the way. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we're glad that you're doing well over there. Definitely one step more towards the plan. That's the way to go. So, yeah, don't know how many people will get. This is such an odd time for us to be streaming, but that's cool. But anyway, yeah, just to catch you guys up. Maybe some more people will float in. We'll put these on and off as we go. But yeah, as you guys who have seen our previous post on the surgery, or rather our drugged up recording that we made when we still had half of those meds in us. Ooh, boy, it's fun stuff. Put in the IV and you're gone. But yeah, the surgery actually went well once we finally got the damn thing. Let's see, been a year in the making with this plan. Yeah, absolutely. But hey, one step at a time, and which is why we've kept asking about it and reminding you about it and gently supporting you. Because it's like we were saying way back in the other stream. It's unfortunately it's just small steps, one at a time sometimes. But you're doing it. You're making it happen. So hopefully you'll be at the point soon where you can, get out of what we assume is your current living situation over there. So definitely we're pulling for you there. But yeah, we we don't know if we actually went into all of the crap that surrounded just even getting our damn surgery on our foot done, just as a catch up, and for those who will come in behind. We went in like in June with just intense pain in the back of our heel. It felt like a little tiny gnome was pulling at our Achilles tendon or poking us with a pair of red hot pliers or a poker or whatnot. And so we go in and we go to our GP. They give us a referral to the podiatrist, and they take a look at it, and it's like, oh, your Achilles tendon is about to rupture, and oh, by the way, the x-rays say that you have a bone spur. If you're into nasty medical-looking things, it's on our Instagram, the copy of the x-ray. Anyway, so it was on the back of the heel, and we go, and they go through tremendous amounts of trouble to get it scheduled, right? Which was a pain in the butt, and we had to bend over backwards because, as we said before, wife is a teacher, and it's virtually impossible for her to take time off. They are way overworked and overburdened as it is, and they can only miss so much time for really serious things. And unfortunately, it was a nightmare. And so TLDR, we finally get the surgery scheduled for the first time. They literally call us into the hospital, calls us in literally like the day before, less than 24 hours, to what we assumed was to draw blood. And they draw the blood and do the EEG, or no, I'm sorry, EKG, and chest X-ray and all this stuff. And then I gotta go. We get back and we get a call from them saying, well, your potassium level is terribly low, and we recommend that you come into the ER since you're due for surgery in the morning, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, okay, we had already been in there for like 3 hours off of what we were supposed to have, like a half-hour limit. And so, again, TLDR, we go in, and we're like, okay, we'll just eat bunch of bananas, and whatnot. And it's like, no, we're not going to go back to the goddamn ER and spend 8 hours there when we've got surgery the next day. We'll end up in the hospital overnight. And it's like, no, because, we've got some medical related trauma going on from various sources throughout our life. So anyway, we go through all this, and our wife gets the day off, and a half day off and everything, and they literally an hour, like before we're supposed to go in for the surgery that morning, they call us to say, well, we're sorry, but the anesthetist didn't like these readings, so they've canceled the surgery. And it's like, So, basically, we had to go on potassium supplements and everything to get our potassium levels back up, so the anesthesiologists say that 10 times fast will agree to do the surgery. So, of course, this prolongs things like out a month or more, because, again, we have to do scheduling with our wife and everything, and then they're trying to schedule it. So it's just being a big mishlah, as they say on the East Coast, mess. And so anyway, we finally, again, this whole thing started in June, so we finally got the surgery scheduled for last week. We had it on, I think it was Thursday. So we finally go in, and everything goes well. And let's see, been a year in the making. Okay, hello, Blue Rose, welcome. Yeah, we're getting to that. Thank you for your sympathies. This really isn't a sympathy. Oh my God, feel sorry for us type thing. It's just more of an update and a random live stream, because we're sitting here and it's like we're going stir crazy because we don't do well with being helpless and being frozen in one spot and being doped up on pain pills for reasons. So anyway, we got the surgery done, and I mean, we've got our little wheelie thing, and foot in the whole kit and caboodle like we showed you guys on the thing. We didn't show you the ugly photographs of the actual incision because nobody really wants to see that. It's not really much to see anyway. It's a nasty yellow bandage over the back of our heel that we get pulled off in another week or so, which reminds me, yes, thank you, Data, we need to call them tomorrow to set up the appointment to do so. So anyway, we've been hobbling around, and so we're in bed for like 3 days, and we get up because, like I said, we start to go stir crazy. Don't deal with downtime because we have to keep going, as we talked on, during the nights. And if you see the day with DID and the night with DID, after night times, after dinner and whatnot is done, we wander around, driving ourselves nuts, trying to agree on what we're going to do. And also we have that built-in need that a lot of trauma victims have in order to, to be doing something. It's like an Encanto with Louisa. Pretty sure I'm useless if I can't be of service. And that's kind of drilled into us. So there's that natural inclination to fight. And plus there's the whole, okay, I'm helpless. I can't move. I'm drugged up. This is triggering me because, of course, anyone could come and abuse you at that point in time, which is completely and utterly illogical, being that it's our house, a safe environment, but still fighting all of that trauma programming and whatnot. So anyway, we finally get up and we're pushing it. Admittedly, we always do this. We're stupid that way. Freely admit it, we're dumb. But those are some of the pressures why we're dumb. So anyway, we are, and yes, I know we're rambling, and we will get to the point. But this is a cumulative story. So we finally get the surgery done. It's about 3 days, and we come out and we're, able to get ourselves drinks from the refrigerator and whatnot. Our wife bought us this really nice wheelie, rolly knee thing. What the hell is it called? A knee rover. Anyway, it's like one of those things that you see people use in Walmart, and they got their leg up. So anyway, we got one of those. And so we go out in there, and the minute we go out into the kitchen, this smell hits us. It's like, oh my God, we know this odor. This is the odor of something sweet and sour and rotting. And it's like we're looking all over the place. And it's like for 3 days, we're looking for the source of this stupid smell. And no, it wasn't us. That was the first thing that we checked. It's like, smelfy, just to see what it was. And there wasn't anything in there. And finally, we pin it down to one side of the house. So yesterday, we finally were well enough to actually go and seek out the source of said smell to eliminate it, because yucky odors and whatnot, also another trigger. So we go and we go in and we go to the room, and we finally figure out where the source is coming from. And without going into too much details, we did find the source of it and got rid of it. But in the process, as we're going into to clean the stuff up in said room, we're gingerly going to sit down, and this was yesterday, by the way, so we're up to within the 24-hour period now. So we're especially now into the no good, very bad date part. So we're going to sit down, and we go, and we gingerly were sitting down cross-legged and got one leg stretched out as we're, pitching trash and getting rid of stuff and going whoop, out the window, to pick up and put in the dumpster later. Fortunately, we're not in an apartment complex, so we're not bombing anybody down below. That would be cruel. Anyway, so we go and we sit down, and the minute that we sit down, we hear this crunch noise come not from our surgery foot, but from our good foot on the right. And we're like, oh crap. And we look down, and it's like, okay, need to keep doing what we're doing. But sure enough, over the course of the evening and the day, our left foot, we broke the toe next to our middle toe. So we have the surgery wound on our right foot, and we now have a broken toe on our left foot. We'll try to give you a view here, but so warning here. Let's see if we can do this. Maybe? Maybe not. Anyway, it's purple and ugly and just yuck. So yeah, really need to see. So surgery leg, broken toe, and then so we're we're having to go. So we had some paperwork that we needed to drop off today, and wife's been stressed at work and whatnot, and we didn't want to add another thing onto her plate, even though we really shouldn't have been driving, and that was an exercise in interestingness. Ouch, been there, done that. Yeah, it sucks. Well, at first we were thinking, oh yeah, maybe we just jammed it because we've done that before. We're kind of clumsy, or the body's clumsy. So, you run into stuff, you stub your toes. We don't like wearing shoes and socks a lot unless we have to. Again, for body memory reasons, we don't like stuff around our wrists or our ankles or anything. Broken your toes so many times. Yeah, sorry, girl. And all they can really do is just, take and tape it to the one next to it. There's really not a damn thing you can do for broken toes. It's you can't splint it, you can't cast it. They'll just take and wrap the toe around the next one for stability. But yeah, so earlier today, this morning, we go ahead and it's like, okay, crap, we really have to go to the Social Security office and drop off this paperwork, guilt edge type thing. It was one of these where it's like our poor wife, she came home yesterday and she was so stressed. I mean, it's like, I don't think we've ever seen her that. It was like seething anger, and our wife is like one of the nicest people in the world, and yeah, she was stressed. And so it's like, okay, we really need this done, but we don't want to add on anything to her, and she's got these trainings. It's like, we can do this, right? Well, it turns out we could, actually. So we go and we drop the paperwork off, and it's like, okay, we're already out, and we need to get food anyway, because unfortunately we weren't able to do, the bulk grocery shopping. Yeah, she's been real stressed, just a lot of internal school thing, and just every teacher, they work so hard with so little support. Hope she'll be okay too. Yeah, I mean, she's a trooper. She trucks along, but we actually kind of gave her a bit of a heart attack today. But we're getting to that. This is just the cake. Now we're about to put on the icing. So we figure, okay, well, we dropped off the paperwork. Might as well stop by Walmart, pick up some stuff because we didn't, we're running low and we need to get stuff. And we already know that if she finds out, she's going to ream us one side and down the other. Uh, so we were kind of hoping that we could all have it done by the time we got home, before she got home, that is, and, just have everything. And it's like, okay, honey, yeah. It's one of those better to ask forgiveness than permission type things. But it had to be done and needed to be done. So we're like, well, let's stop off at Walmart. So we go to Walmart, and we're going in there, and you know how they have the ridey carts, for people to ride on. Well, here we have these lovely things called snowbirds who come from the north down to the south every winter and drive up prices and take up parking spaces, and they also take up all of the available ridey carts, except for one. We walk in and we're on the knee scooter thing, okay? Broken foot on the left, surgery foot on the right. And we go in there, and there's one ridey cart, and it's down along the sides of the other one, okay? And here's one of those cart return guys. He's down there, and he's putting the carts in. And rather than help us, okay, we were literally trying to drag this damn ridey cart out. Backing up, we got one hand on our scooter thing and the other hand, and you know how heavy those damn things are when they're not moving. Said it was charged 100%, blah, 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 blah. So we finally pull it out, and he's just standing there watching us. Doesn't offer to help. The people greeter doesn't offer to help. He doesn't even bother to tell us that, sir, before you go dragging that out, you might want to know it's actually broken, and no matter what the charge says, it doesn't work. So we drag the thing probably a good 15 feet out to where we can flop in it. We get our damn righty knee pushy thing out, and we put it in the cart because we're going, okay, how in the world are we going to do this? We can't control a cart. Got to have room for the groceries. Got to get it back out to the car. It's all these things that Data is figuring out in his head, sequence of actions. So he's just standing there. We finally get it. We sit down, and of course it won't move. So it's like, oy. So we have to get up, and they're just standing there watching us. And so we grab a cart, and so we're literally pushing the cart with one hand and holding onto the thing with the other and steering to try to do this. Anyway, we got our groceries, and we get up to the front checkout, and, of course they've got are you paying cash or card? Because, some of the machines at Walmart, they don't give out cash, or they won't accept cash payment. We're like, we can read the sign, thank you very much. We weren't terribly in a good mood by that point. And she's like, well, we're here to help you, sir. It's like, wrong thing to say at that particular exact point in time. So we're like, really? Well, you might want to tell the people at the front door who just watched, so we relate everything that just happens. And she's just standing there with a shocked look on her face. And she's like, well, we're here to help you. And it's like, thank you very much. But I've gotten this far. I think I can handle the rest, And this was basically bootstraps fully fronting at this point. Because it was a day. But we're getting to the best part. We're not even at the best part yet. So we managed to get it done. We get our groceries, and we go back to the car, and we find that someone in a nice, great, big, white van has parked, like, literally right next to the driver's side, leaving us about maybe 4 foot of space to try to squeeze ourselves and our scooter and everything in between. We could barely open the door without hitting the damn side of his van, which happened. Oops.Maybe you shouldn't have parked too close. Can't say I feel too bad about that. It's like, there was no room. It's like, leave me a can opener, buddy. It's a comedy of errors. Everything that could possibly go wrong did go wrong. Anyway, so we get in there, and we're working the brake with our left foot and the gas pedal with our big toe of our right foot. Which actually, we could have bent it farther, but we weren't pushing it because we had tested it out the day before. Okay, how much flexion do we actually have? So we get back from Walmart, load our groceries, get in the car, manage to back out. There's a snowbird behind us who's just sitting there, and she's pulled forward a little bit in the lane, and we're backing out around the guy, the van on the left, and she keeps honking her horn like we're gonna, back into her. And we had plenty of room. We used to drive dump trucks with 13-ton loads and tight spaces, so we know how to maneuver a car. And so she's honking at us, and we're just like, oh dear God. So we finally get out of the Walmart parking lot. Okay, let's see. Sad Doggo, I was wanting to catch a live stream, but I just got to work. Hope I didn't miss too much. No, you can rewind it there, Sad Doggo, and welcome. So this is just a random live stream. So we can vent a little bit about this and make those of you who think that you have bad luck feel a little bit better and not so alone. So anyway, we pull out of the Walmart parking lot, and I don't know about you guys, but in our area, Walmart parking lot is also known as the Grand Prix, where people just basically go an insane amount of speed and cut across the lanes, don't look, don't pay any damn attention, and I mean it's like a damn war zone. And so we get out and we're turning off onto the main street to head home, and lo and behold, there's a hothead in a blue car behind us. Now the speed limit going south from the Walmart goes from 30, and then down this one stretch of road that we take to get home goes immediately to 25 and single lane. They don't care about this. Okay, it's one lane coming either direction. There's a double yellow line, so you can't pass. We've literally had people just whip right around us and go through. But this one's sitting on our butt. And you know how they like to tailgate and get right up on your butt? And it's like, we kind of have a rule of the closer you get, the slower I'm going to go. So don't tailgate me because we always do the speed limit. Because we know how much the fines cost, and it's not worth it, as you get older and you have to pay for your own insurance and stuff. And anyway, we are responsible drivers. So we're going, and there's a four-way stop that people are infamous, and she's just on our butt down the 25-mile-an-hour things, and so we put on our blinker, we come to a full stop, which just irritates her more, because you come to a full stop, you pause, you count two, make sure it's clear, and then you proceed. That 2-second rule has saved our butts more than once. So we turn, and it's like, okay, bye now. At least she's not going to be climbing up our butts. And we, yeah, wish that had been the case. She whips around the corner. We're just going, and the speed limit on this is 25. So we look down, as habit, we always do, to make sure that we're going 25, because people will speed down through here, and unfortunately the cops don't police it much because we're kind of on this weird border area. And lo and behold, we look down at our speed, we look up in our rear view mirror, and here she is coming up straight behind us, doing about 30, 35, looking down at her cell phone or whatever. And we just knew what was going to happen, and sure enough, she just rear-ended us, just blam. And fortunately, we saw it coming and knew not to tense up, because that's what your body wants to do, and when you do that, you get the whiplash. But it's we've got medical and emergency training and whatnot, so we were able to go, okay. It's like one of those times when having the fight or flight instinct kicked on actually does you good, because you're used to dealing with those cortisol and adrenaline levels and can still function. So fortunately, we were not harmed, and our car, our good old little Nissan, actually proved itself as being an incredibly sturdy thing, because there was virtually no damage whatsoever. The bumper got pushed up just a little bit, and we lost the lens covers on the the license plate light things, the little things on the side. So that was it. Her front end, however, was basically completely caved in. Her head hit the steering wheel. I think, we're not sure exactly, because we were kind of in our own split-second thing, but she had a big gash and blood flowing down her forehead, which she could have only gotten that injury if she hadn't been looking at the road, and she gets, and we get out, and we're hobbling on one foot, the other's wrapped up in an ace bandage, and we're like, what the hell, lady? And she says, well, you stopped in the middle of the road. No, we didn't. We were going 25, and you weren't paying attention. I wasn't expecting you to stop. We didn't stop. It's like, you weren't paying attention. It's like, no, you weren't, because we were literally watching you in our rear view mirror. And of course, this point, bootstraps is fully at the front. minded his manners, though. I mean, there were a couple of, what the were you thinking, you stupid bitch? It's like, and oh, dear Lord. But she's bleeding, and it's like, okay, this is not going to help, so let's just sit down and call the cops. And she's like, yeah, you go ahead and call the cops. It's like, they'll give you a ticket. It's like, we just turn around, Bootstraps is like, lady, you are about to find out in about 2.5 minutes when the cops get here that when you rear end somebody, you are automatically at fault. Okay, so cops finally show up, which is the law. So we're just sitting there and we're just basically calm, and she's back there freaking out. And so the cops get there. We were the one that actually called them. I don't know what the hell she was doing, but we dialed 911, got the cops. They came up. It's like, okay, what happened? They talk with us. We turn over our license and registration and whatnot, which we had on our phone. Actually, our wife texted us the new thing because we leave a call and we're texting her. We're like, we've been in an accident. We're okay. It wasn't our fault, but nevertheless. And she's like, okay, well, here, let me send you the current card information just to be on the safe side. And sure enough, with her usual foresight, she was absolutely right, because as we're backtracking, it's like we had the old ones but not the new ones. So, and of course, if you don't have your proof of insurance with you, that's like a $1,200 to $1,400 fine, which can be washed out if you can then prove to the court that you did have insurance at the time. But anyway, as we're sitting there, they just take our ID and our proof of insurance and registration and everything, and okay, what happened? Da, 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 and we see them. There's like 3 cops surrounding hers, and as he leaves, we're listening to them converse with her, and it's basically, no, ma'am, you were at fault because you hit them from behind. No, ma'am, it's not from the looks of these tracks and tire marks. He did not stop, and they're taking pictures of all the cars and whatnot, and we're just sitting there going, and here's the cake. She didn't have proof of insurance on her and may not have actually had any insurance. And we're hearing her go, well, I don't need to carry insurance because I just live right here. And we're just going. So, yeah, hitting somebody from behind, that's like an $800 ticket. No proof of insurance is like $1,200 to $1,400. And if she had it, then maybe, depending upon the judge, that they might take that down, but she's still looking at a couple hundred for that. There's going to be mandatory driving school, which costs about $180. Hitting someone from behind, speeding. So she's all told probably looking at about $3 to $4K. And that's not counting her insurance, what they're going to have to pay for us. They're going to take the pound of flesh out of her, as our wife puts it so succinctly. And then there'll be the medical bills and ancillary and everything else. So it's like, yeah, moral of the story is it's one of those, yeah, you should have seen the other guy things. So, yeah, we've had the surgery, broken toe, and got into a car wreck, hit from behind, all within a space of 24 hours. So, yeah, no good, very bad day. We got home, and of course, our wife is not terribly happy with us anyway, that we, went out when we really shouldn't have driven, and actually, she kind of spared us most of her wrath. I think maybe she was just happy that we weren't like dead in the accident, and there wasn't a lot of damage or anything, but she's fairly unflappable about these things. But yeah, we knew we were going to hear it. Thus far, we've been spared most of her wrath. Yay! Knock on wood, maybe, honey. Be nice. Yeah, so we just basically came to the conclusion that we're just simply going to go into our closet, fill it with pillows and cushions and things, and just like live in there until this curse of bad luck or wave of bad luck just passes over us, because oh my God, it's just it's nuts. Oh, but it hasn't been attributed entirely to us, because hang on, we'll catch you up on the other family member part. Let's check some of these comments real quick. Okay, so let's see here. Oh yeah, no, we were alone. Wife wasn't with us. Okay, let's see. Holy crap. Okay, hi, Five, or Cloud, sorry. So sorry that happened. Yeah, come Pillow Talk with Bay, subbed for a while. Love your channel and content. Thank you, Pillow Talk with Bay. Absolutely. Glad to see you. Stargirl, wow, just wow, glad you're alive too. Thank you, so are we. Hope things get better. Sad Doggo, that sucks that happened to you, but it's good to hear that justice was served for once. Yeah, yeah, she's having a much worse day than we are, I can guarantee you that. yeah, it was kind of tough to tell because instinct was saying that she might have been a little glug glug glug, but as wife correctly pointed out, stress response cycle, just got into an accident. It's gonna, for somebody who's not used to it, it's going to affect them in that way. That doesn't explain why the cops were searching through her car, but anyway. She's probably right about that. So, who knows? And it's the last thing that we said to the cop was, "Is she okay?" It's like, obviously we were irritated and angry, but it's like, "Is she okay?" And he's like, "Yeah," and just superficial. It's like, go on, have a good day. Here's the card. Here's the information number. They'll be calling you. Your insurance can trade whatnot. But yeah, that was basically it. So that's been our day. Yesterday no, it was the day before. Okay, we for those of you who watched the channel and saw our incoming rant when bigotry comes knocking at your door, update on our daughter's situation with that. Unfortunately, we are, and we do have her permission to talk about this. She's like, "Yeah, go ahead." They know the first part of the story. So, unfortunately, she was basically given the Dear John speech from the other young person. Just so she came home and she came through the door and just burst into tears. She's one of those that will suppress until she gets into a safe space. And we're like, "Oh, we're so sorry, honey." And so unfortunately, she got dumped. And it's harsh, and particularly the first one is so difficult because it's the first cut's the deepest. The song says, and it's that one that just really kind of smashes your heart to pieces. So the poor thing, she's been a real trooper about it. But yeah, it's for the Infinity system and family. It's not been a great week. So it's like we were talking with our friend Roses, and she's like, "Friend, you've been cursed." It's like, what did we do to somebody to piss them off? So but that's basically it. So we're sitting here, and it's like, okay, what are we going to do? Do we play video games? How do we de-stress? And it's like, we know that you guys have been worried, and we've gotten some DMs on Instagram how we're doing. So we figure, well, what the hell? We'll just set up and live stream and tell you guys all about our no good, very bad, terrible freaking day. But we are okay, in spite of everything. Like I said, the damage to our car is virtually non-existent. I mean, sturdy vehicle. Kind of surprised that our airbags didn't go off because we've got the front and the passenger side. But yeah, maybe it's just a front end collision that really, sets those off, which I'm glad because we really didn't need any, like first degree burns on our arms because those suckers come out, so rapidly. So we're glad that didn't happen. No whiplash or anything. We're good. They were like, "Do you need to be checked out?" And we're like, "Nah, go take care of her. She's the one bleeding off of her head." So yeah, that was that. But it's just been, it was nuts. It was just absolutely nuts. Yeah, so that was our day. Hope you guys have been better. And we figured we'd also talk about some of the challenges that we faced in dealing with the surgery and whatnot, and just that process going through. We can chat on that in a second. Let's check your guys' messages here. So let's see here. Sad doggo sucks. Happened to you? Good to hear the justice. Yeah, okay. Pillow talk, still compassionate of others. Yeah, it's funny, but the trauma victims actually we found are the most compassionate, But yeah, I mean, we were first responders, medics, so I mean, we know we know wreck scenes and things and what can happen, and it's like, no, we're good. Just go take care of dipshit in the blue car. But yeah, tears. Yeah. All gathered around her and uplifted her. Oh, yeah, absolutely, with the daughter. DICD says distract with something else to redirect. Yeah, absolutely, Claude. You're dead on the nose there. Yeah, and it's like we were saying earlier, we just can't stay in bed or not doing for prolonged period of times because it just drives us up the wall. Absolutely up the wall. We do not deal well with that. And we do know that a lot of it is trauma based, which fortunately we're finally able to realize because it's like, and we've talked about this with you guys, it's peeling back the onion of the trauma and the generational trauma and all of the patterns that you've been living your life under that you didn't know because you didn't have proper perspective. So it's like, first you have to get over your diagnosis and the denial that comes along with that. And then you have to make the realization of, oh my God, my entire life is a lie. I've been living, my entire perceptions are wrong. Everybody is not out to get me. I've been on, or we, the body, have been on, speaking as Chris right now, since I'm up front. So yeah, it's been a couple weeks, let me tell you. And then we also don't like the pain pills. We do not like being on pain pills for a couple of reasons. One is that, again, we don't like the loss of control. We don't like being out of control of our surroundings and that feeling of, being helpless, and more to the honest point, having to rely on other people, because our entire life and our entire history has taught us you can't rely on other people. So unfortunately, it's one of those things that you just have to unlearn, and it can be very hard to trust others and to let them do for you, because it feels like a completely foreign, unknown thing that makes you profoundly uneasy, because your body is still looking for that next attack or whatnot, and you can't let the guard down. But you have to learn, and it's hard. It's hard. But that's one reason we don't like taking the painkillers. The second is that we used to take them all the time for our back, chronic back pain, because of, well, all the abuse. Does bad things to lower back, and so it was that. And then there's also something that we talk about in the Comfortably Numb, the 2-part series that we did on substance use and DID and trauma, and how it ties in there. And we will admit that it's in the past, not since we've been diagnosed, but in the past, it has been real easy for us to use opiates as an escape. When it just gets to, I know that we remember, we were thinking about this the other day, and a memory floated up. I think it's probably data unearthing it. You know how those fragments just filter in from time to time, and you're like, man, I'd completely forgotten about that. But our egg donor had been on pain pills at one point. I'm not going to get into why. But right around that time period, when all hell broke loose, and as it turns out, we were going through some other stuff that we haven't covered on. We snagged some of hers and we're using them to escape. So as we've gotten older, we recognize this pattern in ourselves that, yeah, we could fall into that trap of abusing these things just to get away. So we're wary of it for all of those previous reasons, but also because we recognize the potential and the potential harm that we could do by giving in to that impulse. Because when you're really stressed out and you just want to get away, and you want to get away from the flashbacks and the body memories and everything, and it's there, the pill bottle staring at you going, I can make you all nice and numb for the rest of the night, and, just pop a couple knee, go soak in the tub, and it's like, no, it's a trap. There's Admiral Akbar staring at you. It's like, so fortunately that was something that even before we were diagnosed with DID, that we had clued into, that okay, we could have a problem here. So, and plus basically it just came down to, either we live our life on pain pills with zombies, or we as a zombie and non-functional, or we pull off the damn meds, and which is another reason why we went with the medical marijuana, which is now legal. Go figure. At least it saves us several $100s a year getting our license. But we pulled off the pills and went on that, and we've been able to manage. It doesn't hurt. Are we still in pain every day? Yeah, absolutely. But at least that temptation is out of the way. So even so, it's like we're less than tomorrow will be the 1 week for the actual surgery, and we haven't even had any pain pills today at all. We took 2 last night because it was kicking up. We did, again, for all the trash cleaning and everything else yesterday, we overextended ourselves. We did way too much. And we've been so seriously short of breath and just no energy. It's like just getting up and, going to the kitchen break out in this huge sweat. But yeah, so we've been managing the pain, and we've already weaned ourselves down off of, the Percocet, to where it's like basically just 1 a day. They cut us 30, and we counted last night, and we've still got 19 of them left. So, pretty damn good considering the severity of everything. But realizing that trap that you can fall into, there's a difference between properly medicating your pain, and you don't want to chase it, which is where you wait until you're in pain again before taking the next dose. That's a bad thing. But really having to watch ourselves for that, because like we said, under stress it's real easy for you to go it's like there's nothing wrong with wanting to be out of pain, but you need to be clear on your motivations and whether or not there's an actual need for it. But yeah, like I said, we were basically off them and just on ibuprofen and the stuff that we normally do. So yeah, but our appetite has just finally come back within the last day or so. Our activity level is we're pushing ourselves. We know we're pushing ourselves. Like I said earlier, we're stupid that way, and we'll admit it. But yeah, it's like we want to take a bath so badly we could scream. We've actually managed to do a jury-rigged Rube Goldberg shower routine where we've got a trash bag around one leg and we've got our little rolly thing half in and half out with the shower door open. It's like, yeah, we'll just mop up the floor with a towel after we're done, but we just had to. Oh, god damn it. Bots. Hang on. Getting rid of them. Okay, report. No, we're just going to put this as spam report. Thank you. And we're going to block you. And let's see. Deleted. There we go. Okay. Got it. Like I said, guys, don't worry. We've got the thing right in front of us. So, yeah, stupid bots. We always get them. So, those of you who are watching this after the fact, you'll probably never even seen it pop up. But it was another one of those stupid best adult dating site. Come view our hentai. It's like, yeah, whatever. Go away. Bye now. So yeah, fortunately, we didn't have that. So, let's scroll back on the chat here. Maybe I can just do this. Let's see here. Deleted. Let's see. Hey, Blue Rose, hello there. Yeah, we're scrolling back. Oh, Naomi popped in too. Okay, hang on. Okay, so yeah, Cloud was saying their system has been doing things without Cloud knowing about it. Like backwards, because most systems have the mystery first. All right, we're just going to read off of this. Or let's see here. Have the mystery first, and with us it's been about 12 years now, the things being done without knowing that they were done. Yeah, we've recently come to discover that we definitely have a non-co alter. Yeah, it's okay, Lisa. Chris is up front. We're fine. We'll give you the TLDR of it, or you can just go back and review, because it's one of these cascade of errors where everything that can go wrong did go wrong. But you guys can fill in, Lisa, if you guys choose. So let's see, back to Cloud. Okay, yeah, that can be tough. Like I said, we've come to discover that we've got a non-co in there someplace, or at least a partial co-con, but whoever or whatever, they're hiding from us, and there's been some really nasty, we've discovered some very nasty, hateful kind of thought insertion lately. Yeah, and so we kind of pinned that down. It's like, okay, where is this coming from? But we're not sure if it's an actual alter in hiding, although we kind of have suspected that for a while, or if it's just simply that thought process that can get imprinted, where you can take on aspects of your abuser, is basically what we're going at. But we really haven't said anything about it because we're not sure ourselves. So it's one of these where it's like, and every time that we're like, okay, who is saying this exactly? And everybody's like, not me, and it's like, we're like, okay, you got something to say, feel free to come out and say it to us. But that's when it goes dark, and it's like there's no more. It's like there's this, I didn't say this, I'm not here. So we got that kicking around, so we're kind of concerned. So we get what you're saying there, Cloud, for sure. Okay, let's see. Pillow Talk with Bay just recently stopped dealing with someone with DID, and your channel has helped me tremendously in understanding them. Good, thank you. We're glad that it's helping. That's just basically what we're doing and why we started the channel, was to give our perspective and hopefully to help others with our experiences and what we've learned in therapy, and data is extremely thorough outside research. So we're glad that it's speaking to you. Thank you, thank you. Do you mind if we just call you Bay? Okay. We're going to do that unless you tell us otherwise. So yeah, thank you, Bay. We greatly appreciate that. Blue Rose, hello there. Yes, totally get the not wanting to take pills and laying in bed doing nothing. Yeah, it's tough to fight. Cloud is saying, Chris and the rest of the system members are awesome. Thank you. Glad you think so. Let's see here. Sad Doggo. Weirdly, I thought that was normal. Just thought that my family was self-sufficient. No, well, that's what we thought too. We thought our family was normal. Yeah, it turns out not so much. I mean, not everything is going to be trauma related, and this was something that our therapist tried to pass on to us, but we were too early in our journey to really appreciate it, which was that in addition to going through it, it's not all trauma. There were good parts with your abusers, like it or not. It's like with our egg donor, there were certain positive aspects of us and experiences that we did have. So you kind of have to watch yourself. There's a point where you start looking for the next evil thing because it all fits together. But that's going to come out all on its own. You don't need to go digging. I don't know if we're quite making the point clear, but you have to guard against that urge to put everything under the trauma envelope, because there were positive things. It's not as cut and dried as it was all abuse or it was continuous abuse. I mean, because we know our trauma was intense, but it wasn't a continual thing. It happened during very specific points in time, and yes, it did take course over a long period of time, but it was sporadic, centered around various things. So we're definitely not going to be the first person to claim, or the person to claim that, bless you, that our trauma was like constant, we were constantly being abused and everything. It's like emotionally, yeah, there were a lot of subsidiary forms of abuses going on. But you can't go hunting for it and say, oh, my entire life was, because it wasn't. Unless obviously it was, but there's a good and bad mix that goes to it. I think we're making our point, hopefully, if not. But yeah, so you got to watch out for that, Sad Doggo. It's that whole perspective thing that we talk about repeatedly. If you're inside of the box, the child who's being abused, and that's all that he knows or that she knows that they know, they're going to think it's normal because you don't have that outside perspective. And your therapist does, the supportive people around you, if you have some supportive family members or friends, they do have that proper perspective, and it can be really hard to listen to them. Because you think they're gaslighting you. You think they're just fucking with your head. And, when they're saying, well, no, you said this. And you're like, I don't remember that conversation. Are you just fucking with me? Or excuse our French, but so you have to watch out for that. It's a lot more complex, but we do get you, Sad Doggo, definitely. Because we were the same way. Bay's agreeing with 5 pieces. Thank you, guys. Blue Rose, in the safe space in the closet is where we are right now. Closet safe spaces are great. Seriously, it's a great way to feel. That's the only way that Christopher can feel safe sometimes, particularly at first when he was going through the bulk of his trauma and whatnot, and she was working with him because he was the first out. But yeah, that early, there were many nights when we went into the closet, and because that was the only place that he could feel safe, was with the bodies back up against the wall, curled into a fetal position, surrounded by pillow fort. So yeah, we still keep ours in our closet. It's still sitting right there, cleared out for him. We haven't needed it in quite a while, but every once in a while he'll go, and we've got his toy box in there, and he'll kind of, dink around with the toys and whatnot. But it hasn't been needed as a real safe space under duress thing for quite a while, but we still have it. For sure. So yeah, safe spaces in closets, great for trauma victims. If you haven't tried it, you might want to consider it. So yeah, sorry that you're there, Blue Rose, but yeah, we totally get you. Naomi, hello, hello. Let this live stream serve to tell you that yeah, we're still alive and we're okay because we haven't seen you on Instagram for a few days. So don't worry about it and don't apologize again. Naughty, naughty. We appreciate that you care seriously though. So let's see here. Yes, Starry Girl's asking Blue Rose if they're okay. Yes, absolutely. Had a rough night, morning there. Now we're sorry about that, Blue Rose. If there's anything that we can do, let us know. 5 pieces of 9 filling in. Naomi, yeah, we'll give the TLDR here in a second. Again, that's it. Yeah, basically, Cloud, you're correct. Love light to you guys. I love that you guys are so supportive of each other. That is so great. If we've done one good thing right, it's that. Sapphire Blue, great name. Hello, welcome. Don't think we've seen you around. If you're familiar to us with another name, please clue us into that. Otherwise, we'll assume you're new. And welcome you to the channel and the live stream. Glad that you tuned in. Sorry about your bad day, you say. Hope you recover from surgery soon. Yeah, we're working on it. We're about a week in now, and he said that he's going to pull the bandages and the stitches out after 2 weeks. So we got to call tomorrow and make that appointment. So yeah, let's see here. Sad doggo addiction is such a huge issue for trauma victims. Yeah, yeah, absolutely, and it's very important that you be honest with yourself about it because it can be tough. That's why we did the 2-part series on that because it was a serious issue and we wanted to share what we had learned with it and the things that we struggle with. But yeah, that temptation can be strong. It can be really strong. That self-medication thing. Sometimes you just want to get away. Okay, now I'm up to where the adult buds came in. God's sakes, not again. But yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Chris. Yeah, absolutely. The butts go bye-bye as soon as I see them. Cloud saying the body gets migraines. Yeah. Lisa, yes, I'm fine. We're fine. The body's fine. Yeah, just a very sucky 24 hours. Thank you, Sapphire Blue, for saying that you're glad that we're okay. Let's see. Starry Girl may offer a bit of advice for that potential alter. Yeah, as in how to maybe help. Yeah, please go ahead. You probably already have by this time. Bay is saying, wish they could come across and be more acceptable to having it. They would feel so much better. Okay, yeah, Bay says, yes, you can call you Bay. So absolutely. Thank you. Cotton Candy, hello. Goodbye. I guess you're probably gone. But good to see you. We're okay. Don't worry. You can rewatch later for the whole thing. Stargirl saying, trauma brain is very much like the lizard brain, somewhat predictable and scared of basically everything. Oh, yeah. Lisa, we had surgery. The body had surgery. Hang on, we're catching up here real quick. His foot, yeah. Sad dog, very good advice or skimming. Trauma makes it hard to understand nuance, but it is there. Yeah, talking about the good and the bad and with the trauma. Yeah, we didn't get it at first when she was trying to tell us that, but as we went on, we're into year 3 now of our diagnosis, coming up on 4 next spring. It's some of that stuff that has sunk back in, and we're going, now we get what she was saying. Because you want to hyper focus on all the trauma, and that's not all that it was. Okay, so Naomi's saying, makes sense that in between the bad experiences, there could have been good times. Yeah, exactly. Whoop. Okay, I'm just going to go with the arrow keys. Can I go with the arrow keys? Yes, I can. Excellent. Okay, mouse go down. Okay, especially when the good and the bad happen so close together. Yeah, Starry Girl is saying. Naomi saying, wish I could be in my safe place right now. Are you okay, Naomi? We're going to scroll down in the chat. Star Girl's asking exactly it. Blue is saying, thanks, new here. This is the first live stream I've been to. Welcome. There are a couple of you new guys, and this is really all of our streams are really impromptu. But we'll go over the rules and our philosophy for it with you real quick. Wife is going to have to get to bed here real soon, though, so we're going to wrap this up rapidly here. But basically, this is it. Welcome to the stream. It's an open forum for everyone to discuss their experiences and share their tips, tricks, support of each other. It's not just us standing here talking to you guys, doing a Q&A. We're glad to answer any questions you may have. We're very open. If we don't want to talk about something, we'll let you know up front. But other than that, we're pretty much an open book. The rules of the channel and the streams are this: you have the right to your opinion. You have the right to state your opinion. You do not have the right to abuse other people with your opinion. Don't talk about sex, politics, or religion. We leave that out. Sex obviously is talked about because it goes with the trauma. But just basically don't be a jerk. If you decide to troll us or start crap, we do have mods. I have a ban hammer, they have a ban hammer, and we will just simply ban you rather than deal with you. So save yourself some trouble. And we've been on the internet for ages, and we know all the trolls and all the tricks. So those are the rules. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the channel. That's it. Basically, just common sense manners. So already here, let's scroll on because, like we said, life is going to want to be coming in and go to bed here soon. So, because she gets up insanely early. Let's see here. Hard for you not to apologize, Naomi. We know. We understand. We understand. Okay. Let's see here. Going up. Hang on. Okay, Blue Rose is inquiring of Naomi. Yes, Naomi, please give us some more details. Starry Girl saying, when you sense those thoughts, offer kindness and understanding to those thoughts. Be gentle, basically. Okay, yeah, we see what you're saying, and we have been. It's just every time that we've went, okay, we hear you, this might be valid, what do you have to say? They've scuttled back, or it has scuttled, or whatever, has scuttled back into the darkness of the headspace. So again, we're not sure if it's just ingrained reactions or if it's an actual alter trying to reach out or doing a lot of passive influence from the back, which is moving more into active. But yes, thank you, Story Girl. We will take those tips to heart. Okay, so X Emerald City Adventures, welcome. Great name. Pretty sure, welcome to the channel. Glad to have you here. Pretty sure my boyfriend has DID, but he doesn't see that he's at the very least got a mental health issue. What can you do? There's so much I have to share, but no one to listen to or believe you. That stuff, first keep in mind, we are a patient. We're not an expert. We're not a doctor. We're not a psychologist. We are not an educator. We may put out, content that could be deemed educational, but we're no experts. So anything that we tell you, take with a grain of salt. And we are very firmly on the idea that therapy is of use to you and to your loved ones who might be dealing with DID. So I would say gently encourage them to perhaps, go into a local clinic or whatnot and get checked out. It's not a scary experience at all. It's actually totally not what you would think and what the media shows. I would just basically be gently supportive of them. Just sit down and calmly explain your concerns with compassion and support, because basically that's anyone with mental health and particularly DID needs the support of their loved ones around them. And it can be hard to do. It can be very hard to do. We know damn well fully that our family has went through hell and back trying to support us, particularly in the early days of our diagnosis. And since then, because we do slip back, we slip back. Those patterns are hard to break. But the main thing is you're not going to be able to force them to do it unless obviously they're in a self-harming type of a situation, in which case, that they are in need of that. But they're kind of going to have to come to it of their own accord. We would basically encourage you to reach out to local help, local clinics if you have that option, support groups that might be in your area. Anger support is a great place to go. That's actually what got us in our anger issues to be diagnosed first off the bat. So yeah, gentle support, seek out the help of professionals if you and if they can. There are a lot of free resources out there, but we do know that it can be very tough for folks to find help just because of financial reasons or just lack of resources. But that would be our best advice for you. As a patient, as a mentally ill person with DID, and not an educator, not a psychiatrist in any way, shape, or form, that would be the best advice that we can give you. But again, look to the professionals if you can find them, and good luck to both of you. It sounds like you're already being supportive of your boyfriend. That's good on you. Good on you, definitely. Obviously, if, just keep at it and don't let it become an abusive situation that you get stuck in. Look after your own needs as well. Okay, so that's our best advice. Hopefully some of it helps. We're going to get back to the to the comments now, but good for you for supporting and sticking in there. And we can hear wife making need to come to bed noises here, so we're going to wrap up with the last few comments, and we're going to go ahead and sign off basically, or maybe move it into the other room just temporarily. Actually, we might just do that. So if you'll give us just a few moments, we're going to go ahead and move into the living room so wife can get to bed. So hang tough with us, okay? And just to keep you from seeing our incredibly ugly house while we go through, we're dirty. Well, actually, we're overestimating. We're just going to cover you guys up for a second. So bear with us. Thank you.
No, that's fine. Have fun.
Thank you. Okay. Oh, not another damn butt. Okay. Oh, it's the same damn one. Boy, this one is pretty. Okay, give us just a sec, guys. I'm grabbing it. Oh, let's see. Report. Report. Hide user on the channel. And they go bye-bye. Okay, sorry about the butt while I was there. So we're going to put this just a little bit closer. Welcome to our living room. What you can see of it. And let's readjust this here so you can actually see us as we lean back. There we go. Okay, let's see where we were on the chat log. Do a little turn on the chat log, on the chat log, on the chat log, baby. Sorry. We promise not to do that again. Okay, so let's see here. Where were we? Okay. Sorry, guys. We're scrolling back because we were on our computer, but we need to... Okay, yeah. So we had just finished answering Emerald City Adventures and giving them our advice on that. Naomi says that they need to get to, or she needs to get to work, but they've been fighting, arguing with your brain for a few days. Lots of family time doesn't make things any better. No, we can feel you there. Naomi, if you're still here, then go, for goodness sake, go get some rest. Okay, camera is this, that side. Okay, yes, we finally found the camera. Okay, so let's see here. Yeah, we feel you, Naomi. Okay, Star Girl is saying, Naomi, that's understandable. Would you like advice? Are you both? Or are you okay? Both are acceptable answers. Yeah, absolutely. Sapphire Blue is saying that they're sorry for Naomi as well. Hope things get better. Yes, Naomi, if you need to chat, DM us on Instagram. We will gladly make time for you. And no, you won't be imposing or anything. If not your, but we would rather have you go to sleep. You need it. But we're there for you if you need to. Okay, sorry, Naomi. Very tiring to argue with your brain. Yes, absolutely. Okay, Lisa's like, what? No, you don't want to know who I'm voting for? No, no, you don't. No, nobody. Okay, Cloud is saying to Emerald's Adventures, you can support good choices and be there when asked to be. Yeah, absolutely. Stargirl saying makes sense. It'll take time to find out. Sapphire Blue saying, thanks for explaining the rules. I also really enjoy your videos. They taught me a lot about DoD. Thank you. We're glad that our content is reaching folks out there and giving them a unique perspective. Like I said, not experts or patients, but we're glad that we're helping folks. Okay, so let's see here. Emerald City is talking back to 5 Pieces 9, Cloud. That's what I've been done for a year and a half, is simply listen to him and all his... Oh, wow, so it's been a year and a half. All him and all his trauma. I'm all he has now because everyone else abandoned him because of behaviors. Yeah, self-isolation can be a real pain. Would you please stay on? Okay, let's see. 5 is saying to... Okay, Ilian says to always remember that breathing is the most important. Yes, Ilian makes sense. Naomi, yes, still here. Excellent. Okay, go get some sleep, girl. Let's see. Sad Doggo is telling Emerald City, be sure to set healthy boundaries. You can support him, but you are also not his therapist. Yes, absolutely. You guys are telling her exactly what we meant. Cloud's taking a smoke breaker. Ilian is. Absolutely. Good. Okay, good night, Cotton Candy. You're probably already gone by now, but get some rest. Be good. Or have good rest. Sorry, we're... let's see here. Sorry. Okay, let's see. Emerald City, simply listen to him for the longest time, and he talks out loud to the voices he hears. And it's like listening to a one-sided conversation. Yeah, I'm sure it can be profoundly odd. It's like we talk to ourselves all the time, or rather I talk to them, since I'm the switchboard operator here as the core/host up front. I'm always holding a one-sided conversation. It's like I told them, I wish that we could just take a pair of speakers, and like Bluetooth them to our brains so that everybody else could hear what we're hearing on the inside. And maybe Dad wouldn't look like the old dude pushing a shopping cart and ranting to himself on the street corner. So there's always that. But yeah, it sounds Emerald City like he needs to look for some help would be a good idea. Okay, 5 is saying, everything went black. Wait, I'm used to this, no worries. Yeah, no, it wasn't that. It was just us moving rooms. Okay. Okay. Emerald City is wondering if I could chat with you privately sometime and let you know what I've experienced with him. And I know you're only a patient, but I'm not asking for expert advice. Only someone who's possibly been through what he's going through now. We get where you're saying, Emerald Adventures, and we're going to be completely blunt and upfront with you and truthful because that's who we are and what we do. We're not qualified, honestly, and that would just be stepping. We are not educated enough, we're not professional enough, and we're not knowledgeable enough to even attempt to dig into that. So reluctantly, we will have to decline that, but you are more than welcome to seek the support of the others in the chat here and on the channel. It's just we're not qualified. We're not, and anything that we say might be wrong, which is why we emphasize we are patients ourselves, and we are still fighting that box of perceptions. And constantly, it's a constant battle. Just because we're sitting here and we seem to be rational and making sense does not mean that we don't, aren't just as bad sometimes. So again, and really, to be honest, all that we would have to tell you is exactly what we've already said. is that, just be supportive as you can, but don't be abused, but, encourage to get help. And particularly if there's other things, if there's, we don't know what the situation is and everything that's going on between the two of you. It sounds like you're trying to be supportive the best you can. Unfortunately, that's really the limit of our advice. We get what you're trying to say, but we're just sorry, we're not pros. We're not, which is why we do the chats the way that we are, that we do, because somebody else might have something applicable who might be able to speak to that. And also just dead honest, there's the responsibility of a YouTube creator. We have to make sure that we are not, as we say in every description, and we've just repeated, we're not professionals, we're patients. And unfortunately, when you're a YouTube creator, there are some liability issues that you have to be aware of. So we are just completely upfront. We feel you. We get where you're coming from. We're not trying to shut you down or anything. Far from it. It's just, and also there's the time. We have a full family. There's a lot that we do in addition to the channel. So it's a matter of time. It's a matter of expertise. It's a matter of honesty. So we do feel, we understand because we've been there and we're still working through it. And you want to help. So guys, anyone in the chat, if you can help Emerald or maybe point them towards some resources. We're not sure where you are in that area. Or maybe some Google Fi, whatever, you guys who are really good at it, please try to support them. But hopefully you'll understand, Emerald, hopefully. Or honestly, we're not trying to shut you down or anything. It's just we're completely honest. We are completely honest with what we do. Truth is kind of our thing, so yeah. Yeah, bot again, we got it, don't worry. Let's see. Ilian or Cloud, I'm not sure who's up front right now, is saying to Starry Girl, no, really, when I'm fronting, I am in a dark closet and then I'll time stop. So this is normal. Yeah, it's like a blink. There I am. Starry Girl, sure, I was again. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I think. Naomi, did you just say that you're always all right? Because that's not a truthful statement, girl. So don't hide that. It's okay to admit that you're not, and reach out. Okay, Naomi, just making sure. Gotcha. Okay, Emerald's. I only want to help him, and right now I don't know how to support him anymore because listening isn't helping anymore. Yeah, we hear you. You kind of hit that wall. So yeah, again, really just the best advice we can give you is what we've already given you, both for him and for yourself. And like we were saying earlier, there comes a point when you just, unfortunately, you can have the best of intentions. You can, out of love, you want to help somebody, but you can't force them to do it. So there may come a point where you might just have to fish or cut bait, which they'll probably see as an abandonment and everything. There's a lot of issues that will go in with that because trauma victims and DID systems, we got serious abandonment issues and attachment issues. So we understand the tap dance that you're doing on the ice. We really do. But really the only other advice that we could give you is make sure to look after yourself as well, because you can't be supportive of another person unless you're supportive of yourself first. So hopefully, Emerald, that will help you in some way, shape, or form. Okay. Naomi saying, I have work and kids. I can't afford not to be okay. We hear you. We take issue with that, but we hear you, unfortunately. That doesn't mean that you can't allow yourself to be weak, Naomi, and ask for help. Hopefully, you're just going to catch this on the flip side and you're already asleep, but we also know you and you probably aren't. Blue Rose, okay, so we're up to the point where we actually sat down the chat block, yeah. Let's see here. Emerald City is going on. I think that he and I met right at the beginning of the system collapsing, but not sure. It kind of sounds that way. Sapphire Blue, sorry, I have to go. Watch the rest of the live stream later. Hope everyone is okay and stays healthy. Bye. Thank you, Sapphire Blue. Get some rest. We'll catch you on the flip side. Starry Girls talking to Emerald City about what they mean the system collapsing. Probably pretty close to what happened to us after the death of our first wife. Sad Doggo is talking to Naomi. Sorry that pressure to be functional despite mental health issues is so real. Yeah. Okay, Emerald City's saying, meaning they're becoming aware of each other or something like that, and I don't know much about DID, so I'm not sure. Yeah, rewatch some of our videos. I think, let's see, what would the best one be? Look for one of our videos called "Who in the Hell Are You People?" Alters and all about them. We go into some detail on the different type of alters and whatnot in there. So look for that one. That might be of some help to you, Emerald City. Cotton candy, thank y'all, no problem. Okay, starting my. Okay, Emerald City responds to them out loud now, but tells me they're external people he can hear as if they're speaking to him or about him. Okay, we hear ours externally as well, so we can't speak to that, but we also do know that that is comorbid with other mental health conditions. So again, we would highly recommend going into professional and getting checked out for that. Naomi's in their office, 8:44 a.m. here. My getting sleep might be a problem. Yeah, that's right. We're like way late on the opposite side of the clock from when we normally stream, aren't we? Sorry, Naomi. Um, let's see. Stargirl's talking to Emerald City about how it can feel like they're right there, and you can hear them. Yeah, it's weird. Okay, yeah. 5 pieces 9. They're saying literally what I just said. Hearing and responding to voices is not always DID, and some schizophrenia also hear voices. So that is that. Yeah. Again, yet another reason for them to at least get evaluated. Let's see, Blue Rose, Naomi, please try to carve out some time for your own self-care is important. Yes, absolutely. We completely agree with Blue Rose there, Naomi. Sapphire Blue saying, sorry about your boyfriend, Emerald City. Maybe you can ask him to talk to a therapist. Yes, you guys are yes, absolutely. Emerald City, is I appreciate your honesty. Okay, good. We're glad that you understand it and don't take offense. Hope things get better for you, Emerald. Yes, absolutely. You know what they say, you can't pour from an empty cup. Yes, absolutely. No problem. Bye, everybody. Okay, Starry Girl. Chat sometime. Do you understand by Sapphire Blue? Okay, maybe. Parrot Chris, not just a patient, not a doctor. Yeah, exactly. Okay, wow, are we actually caught up on it? I think we are. Okay. You see, honestly, Emerald, we do hope that it works out. But unfortunately, this is going to be one of these things where, unless there is an event where, like, say, for example, the police are brought into it, and the external forces have to take control and get them in to be evaluated, it's going to be up to them. And we sincerely hope that it doesn't come to that type of a situation. But dealing with mental health patients, and us being one of them, there was an incident about almost 3 years ago that we haven't talked about it. We've alluded to it on the channel and on live streams a couple times, but we effed up. We effed up bad. There was a lot of stuff going on that day, and if we had a day that we wish that we could do over, it was that. The whole family just, yeah, we get it. So just be aware of that and encourage them to seek help before it comes to that type of a thing. So yeah. Let's see. Naomi's saying, even your husband thinks I go to therapy so I can spend money and have free time from the yeah, you've mentioned that in other live streams, and that is complete and utter BS. He needs to be a little more supportive of you, and if you haven't made your needs clear to him, then you need to tell him everything. Look, I am feeling pressure. This is why I have these things. I don't want this to escalate. I need this time. I need you to be supportive of me. And if he is truly a supportive spouse, then he'll make it a thing. He will make it a thing. Yeah, that's basically all that we have to say about that. But we do get where you're coming from. So yeah, okay. So Starry Girl's like, yeah, if I'm correct, you've said this before, so he still thinks this. Yeah, and Emerald City, we do understand. We get what you're saying. But we don't understand the condition thoroughly. We're learning as we go. So yeah, it's and we know that there are communities like on Reddit and whatnot, approach with caution, that can be supportive of trauma survivors and whatnot. So you might want to kind of outreach to those type of things. Just like I said, maybe do some Google-fi in your area to see what you have. Let's see, where are we at? Because our phone generally oh yeah, we're at 26% here. So yeah, basically I was, at least, I don't know if you're still around or not. I'm sorry we got back to you. here's the TLDR of our past. So we finally get the surgery done on our right ankle, and get the Achilles tendon. Yeah, absolutely, Emerald City. We're glad. Okay, yeah, Lisa. So here's the TLDR. Like we said, we had to have the surgery done on our foot. We went in and got X-rays and everything in June. Went to the podiatrist. They tried to set up the surgery. Surgery got canceled like an hour before we were supposed to go in because the blood work from the hospital found we were low on potassium, and the anesthesiologist didn't want to do the surgery and blah 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 blah. So we had to go through all this, like, another 3-week waiting period before our potassium levels came up, blood test after blood test before they finally came up, and then scheduling conflicts with our wife taking on time off for teaching and getting everything, in order. So last Thursday we finally went in and had the surgery. We posted the little shorts thing when we got back that night, because we had you guys DMing us asking if we were okay. Hello, Naomi, looking at you. Which we greatly appreciate, that you guys were worried about us and looking out and are supportive of us, and more importantly supportive of each other, which is the main thing. So anyway, we finally got done that. So we've been laid up for like 5 or 6 days. Well, today we had to go out to drop some paperwork off at the local social security office. It was just one of these that had to be done, and our wife was had so much done with work and has been uber stressed, so we didn't want to, despite the fact that we should not probably have been driving and could barely do it. We actually managed to get it all done and went, dropped it off. There were a lot of ancillary difficulties along the way. Just go back and watch the whole front part of the stream if you want all of the rundown, because it's just been, this past 24 hours has been just one ridiculous thing about after the other. So anyway, we were in the surgery. We get up after about 3 days, which is how long that we can actually stay in bed. We get up and we come out, and we're starting to roll around a little bit on this little wheelie thing that our wife got us, and we notice that there's a smell coming from the other end of the house. And for like 3 days, we're like, there's this smell. Where's it coming from? And nobody else in the house can smell it. But yesterday we finally, were mobile enough that we went into the room and started cleaning through the trash, and we did find the source of the smell. But as we're doing this and throwing the trash out of the window, bagfuls of it, we this went to sit gingerly down in a cross-legged manner on the floor, and as we sat down, we hear this crack crunch noise come from our left foot, our good foot, not the one that had surgery on. And sure enough, it started hurting. Later on that day, we discovered that, yeah, we'd broken our toe. So we have a lovely, well, right now it's a deep, deep purple. It's next to the pinky toe, the one in from that, but there's nothing that can really be done about it. So we've got a broken toe on our left foot, our good foot, and the surgery on our right foot. So there was that. And then, so anyway, that was yesterday. So we're driving and dropping this stuff off with a broken toe on our left, and basically working the gas pedal with our big toe on the right. Well, we do get there, and we get it done with difficulty, and we go, and it's like, okay, we're already out. We need to go to Walmart. I know we're pushing it, but we really need to buy groceries and stuff, because just running out, we weren't able to do the big shopping trip that we wanted beforehand. So it's like, okay, we know that the wife is going to kill us anyway, so in for a penny, in for the pound. So we go, and we have difficulties at Walmart, and just, like I said, rewatch, because it's a comedy of errors all the way through, and bad customer service on Walmart support and other things. So anyway, we go to Walmart, and we're coming home, and we get a tailgater on our butt. And just right on our butt the whole damn way. And as we turn off from the four-way to go onto our street, she turns on after us, and she's not paying attention and looking down at her phone, and it was a 25-mile-an-hour zone, and we were doing 25, and she was doing about 35, and she just rear-ended us. Just boom, right into the back of the car. We're fine. The car's fine. Nice, tough little Nissan. Very tough car. Like, the bumper's pushed up like maybe that much, and it shattered the light covers on the little license plate, lighter upper thing, illuminated license plate things. So like, no damage to us, no damage to the car. You should have seen the other her car. Front end caved in, gash on her forehead, which she wouldn't have gotten if she had been looking up. That just proves that she was looking down. And so, a long story short, we got rear-ended, and the cops are taking it. It's like, Lee, of course, you rear-end somebody, and you're automatically at fault. which, we informed her of before we were calling 911. I don't know what the hell she was doing, but anyway. So there's that, and so it's like we have to call our wife and text our wife. We've been in an accident, it wasn't our fault, we're fine, but, so she texts us the current copy of the insurance cards, being the overly prepared but very well prepared lady, woman, wonderful partner that she is, made sure that we had it, and good thing because we only had the old ones, which would have been, so anyway, long story short, we get rear-ended and everything's fine. We go home, but it's just been a comedy of damn errors. So it's like we're sitting here and it's like, okay, what should we do? We've got you guys DMing us asking how we were. We might as well just let you guys know, for any of you who have really crappy days or have really bad luck. Well, here we are, Infinity System and the incredibly crappy, very bad day. So, like we said earlier, we've just decided basically we're going to go live in the safe space in the closet and just build a pillow fort and stay in there until this curse of bad luck has passed. So, there you go, Lisa. That's the TLDR. And trust me, you might want to go back and rewatch because there was a lot of little things in between there. We're just glossing over the highlights. But man, it was just nuts. So, let's check up with the last things here. Because our phone is about to die, and you guys know that has happened to us before. So if we cut out all of a sudden, then that's why. All right, so let's see here. Let's see. Yeah, okay, so from there, okay, Emerald and Starry Girl are still chatting. Good for you guys. 30 days in jail and they didn't do anything to help, and his parents think that it's drugs that make him act the way he does, and it isn't. Okay, yeah. Again, just reiterating our previous advice. We'll stop now and just keep going. But God, we feel for you. Lisa, oh no, ouch. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, that's rough. So Starry, I love how you guys are so supportive. There's at least one other that's female because I actually spoke to her one night last week. Unless he was messing with you. I don't think he was messing with you, Emerald. I don't think so, not from what you've said. But again, can't be sure. Oh, let's see. Blue Rose. Well, we're going to crawl out of our closet and practice what we preach. Time for self-care, eating, and drinking something. Hope to catch your next live, Chris. Thank you for reaching out to Ben. No problem. Thank you for being here and listening. Absolutely. Yes, go self-care. Forgive our vintage clock. That thing has been keeping time and chiming since we were littles. It was our great grandmothers, and then it was our grandparents, and they passed it on to us. And it's I think it was made in like 1782 or something. Completely mechanical. We keep it running, because bootstraps and data are inveterate tinkerers. And as it turns out, our great-great-grandfather was actually a watchmaker, so it must run in the blood or something. But yeah, he was actually the last one to keep it running, and our grandfather could never really do anything with it, despite being a master carpenter, an incredibly talented dude. But yeah, we cleaned it out and keep it running and ticking. So yeah, let's see. Lisa Man, what did yeah, absolutely. Blue Rose, yes, take care. See if yeah, we'll do our end of the month stream. Have a good night. Do they screen for drug use during DID diagnosis? I knew they'd do that for BPD. They did not with us, sad doggo. We did not ever take a drug test or a blood test or anything when we went in to be evaluated and eventually for our diagnosis and therapy. Not once. They never took our drug. They never checked for drugs. They never checked for urine. We weren't incarcerated either in a clinic or anything. We were actually basically in control of the whole eval process. It was very open, very welcoming, not what we were figuring at all. Of course, we were full-fledged freaking out, anxiety, have to have our back against the wall and what. Just watch our earlier content. We talk all about it. Yeah, and for you new folks, please go back over our old content because there's a lot of stuff there. Don't just look at the current, to dig around. We've got it all in playlists. That said, do watch out when we place a trigger warning. Take it seriously because we cover some real heavy stuff. Real heavy stuff. Thank you, Mimi, for okay. We're not complaining. We know it's just you kind of outed all that before we were ready. But as was your right, yes. See, we're holding one of those conversations right now. But yeah, so it's no drug screening or anything for us, sad doggo. Can't speak to overseas, but here in the U.S. and at least where we're at, no, that wasn't an issue at all. I think if you get the police involved, or if you have an incident and the authorities have to get involved, yeah, I think that they would probably run that if you were involuntarily placed into a treatment center and assessed that way. But as long as you walk in there and do it of your own accord, as far as I know, that doesn't happen. At least it didn't with us. So yeah, that's our experiences. Emerald City is saying, I only know that I love him more than anyone I've ever loved, and I refuse to abandon or give up on him. Good for you. Good for you. Good for you. Lisa saying I will watch, but thanks. Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, not BPD, bipolar. Sorry. Yeah, it's okay. We get bipolar and BPD mixed up all the time, so don't feel bad. Sad doggo. Our wife is always correcting us on that one. Emerald City saying, Chris, I'm grateful to have found your channel because it's giving me the strength to keep supporting him. Thank you. Anytime, anytime. And we do try to speak to the NTs and the supportive folks, as well as the trauma victims and the DID. Is our channel about DID? Do we have DID? Yeah, absolutely. But you also have to understand, and we do go into this. Again, watch that video, Who in the Hell Are You People, Alters and All About Them, because we go into great detail about, it's called this theory of structural dissociation. Yeah, that's it. Sorry, we're tired, so Data's not up front where he normally is to correct me. But basically, it's this. We'll give you the TLDR. PTSD is the top level. It's a primary structural dissociation. It can be experienced by anybody who has had one traumatic event, because basically your brain goes, okay, we got this emotional, we got this one part. So there's one apparently normal part, and then there's the trauma memory that you have. Not an alter, that happens further on down the line, but it can be experienced by anyone. War veterans seriously get that. Then you go down to a secondary level, which is CPTSD, complex PTSD, OSDD, bipolar. Those are secondary structural dissociation. So as you go down to each level, you have everything that came above it. So if you're on level 2, you've got PTSD, CPTSD, whatnot, and then down at the bottom is DID, a tertiary structural dissociation, where you've got many ANPs and EPs. An ANP is an apparently normal part. They're the ones that function in the outside world. They don't contain the trauma, bootstraps, rosemary, things like that. An EP, or an emotional part, are those alters or experiences that have been locked away. We're currently trying to figure out exactly how long and how many traumatic experiences it takes to actually form an alter. Look for an episode somewhere along the way. That's the current bone that Data is researching and chewing on. So basically that's the basics of it. So yeah, keep that in mind. We kind of lost our thing there, but yeah, absolutely. Yes, okay, we're talking, yeah, but we do design our content, and we try to speak to all trauma conditions and all mental health patients, and as well as the NT or neurotypical, i.e. normal supporters, those of you without the trauma and without DID and whatnot. And what are you getting into, Colby? No, yeah, and we're gonna have to let Chocho in as well. So yeah, we're glad that you're finding the content useful, and like I said, we've covered a lot over the 2 years that we've been on the channel, so please go back and watch our old content. We're not saying it for views or anything, just simply because there's a lot of info there. And pay attention to the trigger warnings. Okay, Lisa, glad I caught this. Love the group here. Gotta go now and rewatch. Hugs, absolutely. Thank you, Lisa. Have a great day. Take care. Okay, 5 pieces 9. They're saying, hope all are able to simply do the best they can with what they have. Yep. Let's see. Sad Doggo. So I'm not the only one whose alters go to bed. Cool to know. Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, girl cat is gonna cat. Yeah. Okay, so we're caught up. That's it, guys. The phone's about to die, and we got to go let Cat in and see what he was just knocking over there. So we're going to go ahead and wish you guys good night, and thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening to us blather on. Thank you, new people, for stepping out and saying hey, and we're glad that you're finding stuff on the channel. Just to let you guys know, very soon, the next thing up, official programming that you'll have, is the last little stories book that we did before we moved to the studios. We did a 3-episode backlog where Percival sat down and recorded it. So it's up to me now to edit that. Everything is there. I just simply have to put it together. But I kind of need a clear head to do that. So within the next couple of days or so, I'm going to start knocking that out. So the next thing you'll officially see pop up on the channel is Little Stories. I believe it's Carrie the Fire Dog, as I recall, but I'm not sure on that. And everybody else is asleep, so can't verify. And I'm not sitting in front of the computer to look. So that will be the next thing coming out. And then we're not sure after that. I know Data's kicking around a few other things. We'll see what crops up. Assuming that we don't have any more bad luck. So we're going to go ahead and sign off. And as always, we thank you guys for watching. We appreciate that you're supportive of us and more importantly of each other. It really shows that our vision for the channel has taken root and fruition to help everybody else out there, and that we all help each other, because if we don't do it, who will? So as always, say it with us. We remind you, you are loved, you are strong, and you are not alone. Okay, I'm Chris. Thanks, guys. Catch you on the flip side.